I was met with such overwhelm that it halted me. Like, I didn't know how to even begin. So we had over 4,500 students, which put the launch this past year at $4.2 million. What?
This is Bonnie Christine. She turned her passion for fabric and pattern design into a business that makes over $5 million a year. However, Bonnie started out with no community, a blog, and a small Etsy shop. She was living with her husband close to the poverty line for almost 4 years until she made this one decision that would change her trajectory forever. In this video, I'll talk about Bonnie's early days of getting started as a creator, the one decision that she makes within her business that completely transforms her business, and then the growth tactics that she uses to double her revenue every single year for 5 straight years. And then I'm going to break down Bonnie's exact growth playbook and how you can apply it to your own creator business to supercharge its growth. My name is Kyle, and I run a growth marketing agency helping creators who teach, build, and grow sustainable businesses. So this is Bonnie's growth story. So Bonnie grew up in what she describes as a very creative and entrepreneurial household.
My childhood was really nurtured in creativity. We were always baking and cooking and sewing and crafting. And
she always knew that she wanted to be an artist and creator. She just didn't know how to make a living from it. So she got her start working with her mom in her mother's quilt shop. And at the same time, she started dabbling with her own creative pursuits, making homemade tea towels and aprons and selling them on Etsy. She also started a small blog called Home to Roost, and she blogged 2 times a day, every day for years. And this was the beginning of her creative business. She didn't know it then, but she was starting to build this small audience online. But then she pivots to fabric design.
And everything for me came into alignment in that moment. I wanted to become a fabric designer. The only problem was I had no idea how to do that. I had no history, art practice. I didn't even know how to even get started.
So she spent a year learning Adobe Illustrator and everything she could about fabric and pattern design. After a year of learning this skill and then another year starting to build this portfolio, she started to pitch her portfolio and landed her first art licensing deal. At the same time, she took her small audience she had developed over the years through the blog and her Etsy shop and started a paid newsletter. And at its launch, she was able to sign up 200 subscribers at $5 a month. So that $1,000 a month was the beginning of her online creative business. But between her Etsy shop, her art licensing deal, paid newsletter, she was still only making about $33,000 a year at its peak. But then Bonnie had this breakthrough.
I got the opportunity to teach for a company called Creative Live. Now, teaching was never on my radar. And I was like, well, the only thing that I really know is Adobe Illustrator. And they said, great, come and teach that. And so I did. And that spun me in a new direction in my career that I could have never seen coming.
And it went extremely well. So she took that experience at Creative Live, and then she went to another online learning platform called Skillshare, where I actually used to work. And over the next several years, she took her income from $33,000 to making over $200,000 a year. This was the first big growth unlock for Bonnie, taking the skills she had and bringing it to these established platforms that had an established audience for her that really set off a wave of success on the teaching side for her over the next several years. But then Bonnie has the next big growth unlock in her business. It's 2017. She's feeling very burnt out. She's trying to raise 2 small kids at the same time of running this creator business. She's running her blog. She's selling stuff on Etsy. She's doing her art licensing deals. She's teaching on Creative Live. She's teaching on Skillshare. She's just feeling burnt out by everything she's doing. And so she makes the decision to start teaching her own big cohort-based course on surface pattern design on her own platform under her own brand.
I had this idea that I really wanted to teach this big course on surface pattern design. Today it's called Surface Design Immersion. I had it on my heart. In fact, I felt pregnant with this idea.
And this is a brilliant move because at the time, she's using these third-party platforms to teach, and it's serving her well. She's helping her build her audience and monetize that audience while it's still small. But now she's to a point where she has tens of thousands of subscribers on Instagram. She has over 4,000 email subscribers. And so it's a great time for her to start selling directly to that audience. Because while these third party platforms are good for building your audience and monetizing while you have a small audience, they actually only pay creators anywhere from 10 to 40% payout, depending on the platform, for the students and revenue that the creator is earning from their classes. And so once you start to have an established following, you can start to sell directly to those students and recoup 100% of your revenue. And it, again, completely transformed her business. Her first launch goes extremely well. She launches it over 1 week in February, prices it at $1,000 per seat, so pretty expensive, but she was able to sell 352 seats in that first week, making $352,000 in 1 week. So she literally just doubled her income over 1 week. And I actually worked with Bonnie last year on her growth strategy. And this program and this cohort-based course continues to be kind of her flagship product and something she launches every single year. Over the last 5 years, her business has doubled every single year, with this product being the cornerstone of what she is selling. And now, in my experience, this is where most creators typically stop. They have found product market fit, they are growing their audience, and they're selling this product to their audience every single month. And this is great, but sometimes you hit a saturation point. And what's different about Bonnie is she doesn't stop there. She starts to add more products that she can sell to this audience and deliver value to this audience beyond just the cohort-based course. So she launches a flagship membership program that is exclusive to alumni of the course. And then she launches a live conference at the end of every year for her students and also her audience that maybe did not sign up for the full immersion cohort-based program. And this is brilliant because she's further monetizing her audience that are her super fans that signed up for her course, but also the audience that maybe couldn't afford her course as well. And then she also launches a mastermind group for her super users, the ones that want that really hands-on learning experience from her directly, and that further monetizes those users. So now with her cohort-based course and all of these add-on products, the membership, the mastermind group, and her existing product lines and revenue streams like her art licensing deals, she takes her business from $500K a year to over $5 million a year in 5 years. So now Bonnie has a business of over $5 million a year, but again, she's not stopping there. She's now starting to expand beyond the pattern design community and starting to launch products and services to the broader creative professional community, which again, I think is really smart because she first niches down and focuses on her core niche of surface and pattern designers and delivers so much value to that audience that she develops this extremely loyal following and audience. But then obviously at $5 million a year, at some point, that audience will become saturated. And so she has to expand beyond it. And so now she's starting to work with and target creative professionals, which is a brilliant move because it's not isolating her existing community in any way. Most surface and pattern designers that are following her today are creative professionals themselves. And so again, that audience will probably be a good fit for the products that she's developing now for this broader creative professional community. So I think it's extremely smart of her to start niche, build a loyal following there, and then expand beyond that once she's established a growth playbook that she can apply to that broader audience. Okay, so here's how you can apply Bonnie's growth playbook to your creator business. Number one, the most transformative decision that Bonnie made was to start teaching online. If you have a small audience and you're an artist, I highly encourage you to start teaching the skills that you have to other aspiring creators and artists. It's never been easier to sell courses and teach online. And in fact, in a recent Goldman Sachs study, it shows that most creators are still earning about 70% of their income from brand sponsorships. However, as I've shown in this Mark Rober Growth Deep Dive, courses and online and digital products have a much higher earning potential and are a much more sustainable business than brand and ad sponsorships. The second thing that Bonnie does extremely well is she leverages these third-party platforms to really build her business, grow her income, and at the same time, fast track her audience growth. And so if you're a creator that has a small following and you're looking to monetize your audience even further, look for some of these third-party platforms that have established audience that you can tap into. Do podcast interviews, guest post on other blogs that are bigger than your own so that you can fast track your audience growth as well. The third big pivotal moment for Bonnie was when she started to sell directly to her audience. Once you've established a good, solid audience of your own, you can start to sell them digital products, courses, templates, and other products and services directly to them so that you can recoup 100% of your earnings. And so leverage these third-party platforms as ways to test new content types, build your audience even further, and then start to sell directly to them through your own brand and your own website. The fourth thing that Bonnie does extremely well is she further monetizes her audience through add-on products. So she doesn't just stop at her flagship course and continue to push that as much as possible. She builds additional products that further serve that audience, but also people that maybe are aspiring designers but couldn't afford her courses, and offering products to them as well. And so this further monetizes her audience and grows her business. So don't just stop at course creation. Think about other ways to deliver value to your audience beyond just a course. It could be digital products like Procreate brushes. It could be templates. It could be a membership community. It could be coaching. There are many different ways for you to monetize your audience beyond just teaching people online. And lastly, think about ways that you can expand beyond that audience while not isolating that audience completely. And so just as Bonnie expanded to the creative professional, think about how you can expand beyond your core and niche audience and start to apply the growth playbook that you've developed to that other new audience. So that's Bonnie Christine, her growth story, and how you can apply her growth playbook to your creator business. If you want help taking your creator business to the next level, check out my resources in the description. I'll see you on the next one.